Hi everyone, thanks for joining. It's Ray with Tarot Living. So this is really part two of tarot practice. And so the first one I was doing 2 card draws and just simply free-flowing with tarot ideas and what the cards mean and what their connections are and what their differences are. And so we did 4, I believe. For this video, I'm actually going to do something a little bit different, and I'm actually going to do what I call a 3-month draw or 3-month spread. And it's really simple. It's just pull a card, one for this month, one for next month, one for the month after. So it's basically the present and then next month and the month after. So it's 3 months. And I find this helpful just to give somebody a kind of a check-in as to what could be highlighted during those months. So say I go for coffee with people, I do a lot of tarot for friends as well. And so let's say I go for coffee with someone and they're like, well, did you bring your cards? I'm like, of course. And so I pull up my cards and sometimes I'll just do a 3-month draw where it's really like a check-in so that the person can get a sense of where they are this month, next month, and the month after, and what might be highlighted during those months. So we'll try that on 1 or 2, and then we might change it up and do something different. So let's go ahead and grab some cards, and we're going to do some tarot practice. Okay, so I have the Pamela Colman Smith Commemorative Edition. That is the deck that I'm using right at the moment. So I'm basically just going to, I shuffle and I actually pull cards out that seem to jump out at me for one reason or another. And sometimes I pull more than what I need and then narrow it down when I'm doing my own practice. So I've got actually 5 and I'm narrowing it down. So I'm going to pull one for, that's going to be for the next month. This is going to be for the last month. And this one's going to be for the first month. All right, so this is month number 1, month number 2, and month number 3. So, so this is going to be basically currently, and that's the 7 of Cups. 5 of Swords is going to be next month, and then the Hierophant is going to be the month after. So those are the cards. I'm actually just going to write that down so that I don't have to hold them up the whole time. Okay. So the first thing that I would look for when I'm actually looking at the 3 cards that are pulled, I automatically want to know whether there's similarity within those cards. So is there something that has a similarity that I can say, well, in the next 3 months you have a theme of? Like, for example, one time I did this reading and the person picked Pentacles for all of the cards. So we knew that, work and tangible results and, groundedness and that kind of thing were going to be the theme for the next 3 months. But in these cards, we actually don't see specific similarity in terms of suit, but I am going to tell you the similarity that I do see that you may not kind of realize upon first looking at these cards. So this, I always get it backwards, this is the card that's going to be for this month, and this is actually Venus in Scorpio. So Venus is the planet that is ruling that one. Strangely enough, this one is actually Venus in Aquarius. So we have 2 Venus cards that were pulled. And then we have the Hierophant, which is actually related to Taurus, and Taurus is related to Venus. So we actually have a Venus pattern that was created in those 3 cards, which, if you're not looking at astrological attributions, you may not, have recognized that. So that's one of the themes. So the first thing I'm going to do is say to the individual that for the next 3 months, there is an element of Venus that is going to be coming to the forefront for them. So there's a couple of elements of it. So the first thing is Venus is the planet that is about reconciliation and union, and it wants to see, people together and harmony and balance, and it's kind of that planet that is just all, goodness and wanting to really have reconciliation with others. So there could be something about relationships in the next 3 months that's playing out. It's of importance in some way. The second thing is that Venus is about enjoyment and fun and sort of enjoying the good things in life. And so there's going to potentially be something about that maybe as well. So the first thing I'm going to say is about the 7 of Cups. So if you're going to tell them what's going on right now, you can say that in this month there is a lot of things going on in terms of desires and wants and aspirations of what they think that they need or want, and there's going to be a lot of different choices, and they potentially could get caught up in all of those choices, and could get caught up in all of the draw, toward those things, or the attachment toward those things. And so it could be about, relationships where you have a lot of different choice going on, or that you're seeing a couple of different people, and maybe there's, some choices that you need to make. It could be about money too, or, items or physical items, things that you enjoy, because remember, Venus is about enjoyment and enjoying the abundant things in life. So sometimes there can be overindulgences. So you want to, with this card, you want to be careful that, you're being as grounded as you possibly can be, because this card is not grounded at all. It's a card about having all of these desires and ideas, and so it's in the clouds. That's why the card is in the clouds. Cups are related to our inner desires, relationships, emotions. So there's going to be a real draw towards some things that you want this month, and there's going to be potentially a lot of those things. So you want to make sure you're not attaching yourself to things that are not going to be good for you, that you're going to have to shake later. And especially with relationships, you want to make sure that you're not holding on to too many situations that maybe aren't good for you, that kind of thing. So there could be some definite choices. It could also be that you're just really imaginative and dreamy, and that you're really coming up with all kinds of ideas about things that you want to do and the next direction that you want to go, and you can't narrow it down. And it's just very difficult to narrow down. So it can be very imaginative and very creative card. So it would be great for artistic pursuits, but not so good if you're trying to be super realistic and actually maybe make tangible results and translate it or monetize it in some way, or translate it into tangible results. You're not going to be at that phase. So you're going to ask that person about what's going on, for this month, and say, this is the energy that you are carrying right now, and these are the things that are going on. So carrying on then for the next month, you would want to talk to them about the fact that Five of Swords is really that card where, like I say, it's like people trouble. So it's Venus in Aquarius. And Aquarius, you have to remember, is a sign that is all about ideals and information and facts, and what's the truth in the situation. And they're very much about moving ahead and thinking about the best ideal situation that can happen, and they're very attached to their thoughts about what's right. And I think that's really where the trouble comes in with Venus. You would think, well, you should be able to maybe connect with others and talk about your ideas. But the problem was we have a number 5 that came up, and the 5 is the issue there, where it really creates an instability, and it creates tumultuous, ground. So you're not on solid ground like a 4. You're now in that ground where you need to grow, and things become kind of unstable for a period of time. So that 5 is really causing some kind of fraction or difficulty with regard to relationships with other people. So this card notoriously talks about having some kind of conflict with other people. And I think the reason, in my opinion, of why we often say, well, it's about, one person winning, and they're bullying, and it's kind of a sore winner, or not a very nice winner, and kind of boastful and that kind of thing, is that really I think it's that Aquarian energy where I really think I'm right in the situation and not wanting to let go of that. And then other people, Aquarius being involved in groups and society and other people, you're coming up against other people, and you've got these ideas, and your ideas are very strong, and I think conflicts can happen where you're wanting to win over the other person because you really think you have the right idea. And so it can cause other people to feel alienated and kind of walking away and feeling dejected, and you're on your own, and you've still got all the swords, or most of them, and you've got lots of great ideas and lots of great thoughts, but you've created a fraction where an issue and a difficulty within relationships of other people. So that's why I call it people problems. So that particular card is just really can be about one person winning, but really no one's the winner, because there is not peace and harmony that has no result of that has happened. So there's conflicts with other people, but no peace and harmony. So what I would be telling the person is next month, you may run into a situation where someone has strong ideas or you yourself have strong ideas, but there's going to be some kind of conflict there. And you have to remember that maybe it's not worth it in a certain situation to create more conflict, and that sometimes it's better to walk away. If you really believe in something, then you try and do it as calmly as you can without alienating people. So that's kind of the advice that I sometimes have for that card. And then the Hierophant, so 2 months from now, so not this month, not next, but then the one after, the Hierophant card came up. And the Hierophant is, it's actually creating, in my opinion, it's bringing in, okay, the month after that, you're actually going to be doing some growth and some spiritual, searching, or you might have somebody who's able to help you out and guide you in some way. So it's almost like things are going to calm down, because we've got a couple of cards here that could create some level of stress or difficulty, and then we have the Hierophant coming in, and it's saying, maybe it's time to go back to some spiritual, beliefs or traditions, and that might become important to you, and that's going to help balance you out. You might even have positive people around you who are able to, help guide you in some way. So it could be just getting back to the basics, getting back to status quo and, traditional ideas, because maybe you feel like you've, gotten a little off track. As I say, it could be that somebody is really helpful and a teacher, or you yourself feel like you have something that you can offer others and teach others. But that card is really about bringing the spiritual concepts down, but it's done in a way that's very much on an earthly level. And on an earthly level, we create societies and groups and sects of religion, and not sects, like sections of religion, sects, C-T-S. Anyway, so it's about creating traditional doctrines. So it can be about societal groups. And so after having all of these, challenges, it's almost like maybe you're taking a period of time to actually try and fit in and conform, or you're feeling like it's necessary to really ground yourself. It can also mean, as I say, that you yourself are feeling like you have something to offer a group of people. So I hope that helps. I think these are really interesting cards. And so when you first pull cards, you think, oh, they have nothing in common. You have a cup, a sword. But really there's a theme through there of how do I deal with people? How do I deal with relationships? Potentially, that could potentially be one theme. There's another creative aspect of it that we see with the 7, and there's some just conflict that we see potentially with the 5, and so on and so forth. So I hope that helped. So go ahead and give it a try, and for goodness sake, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching Tarot Living. Take care.